Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into the world of European basketball with a full breakdown of today's ticket. Before we get started, just a quick shout out to our sponsors, MyStake and Vadada. You can find links with some special bonuses waiting for you right there in the description. So today's breakdown is split into three main parts. We're going to kick things off with some handicap picks, then move on to games where we expect a ton of points, and we'll wrap up with the defensive slugfests. Let's get right into it. First up, let's talk about teams that are ready to cover the spread. We're looking for squads with some serious potential to win by a comfortable margin. Our first matchup is Hapoel Tel Aviv versus Paris, and this one really comes down to momentum and motivation. Hapoel has started to find its rhythm, stringing together 2 straight wins, and you can see their confidence is back. Paris, on the other hand, doesn't really have a strong competitive motive here. So because of the difference in quality and, frankly, just the desire to win, our pick is Hapoel to cover that minus 5.5 spread. Next, we've got a big one, Olympiacos versus Fenerbahce. Now, the key piece of news here is the return of Sasha Vezenkov. He completely changes the dynamic and elevates the entire team. Olympiacos already has one of the deepest rosters in Europe, and we've seen some cracks in Fenerbahce's armor lately. Playing at home, a motivated Olympiacos should definitely be able to cover a minus 4.5 spread. Let's move on to Unicaja versus Juventud. Now, this isn't just another game. What's at stake here is first place in the group and home court advantage. Unicaja is in fantastic offensive form, and they're playing at home. With so much on the line, you have to expect them to come out strong and cover that minus 5.5. And for our last handicap pick, we've got an interesting one. Borg taking on Cedevita Olympia. Even though Borg is the favorite, Cedevita has really stepped up their game recently. They're playing without the pressure of needing a win, and that's often when they're most dangerous. They can be a tricky opponent, so we're picking Cedevita to keep this one close and cover the plus 5.5 spread. Okay, so we've covered the spreads, but where can we expect an offensive explosion? A real downpour of points. That brings us to our next category, the high-scoring games. These are the matchups where we're predicting a total offensive spectacle. First on this list is Partizan versus Dubai. Ever since Carlik Jones returned, Partizan's offense has just been so much more fluid. On the other side, you've got Dubai, a team whose main strength is their offense, but whose defense, well, it has some issues. That's the perfect recipe for a high-scoring game, so our suggestion is to take the over on 169.5. Now let's look at Başakşehir versus Cluj. If you've been following Cluj, you know their games are almost always fast-paced and high-scoring. Başakşehir can play that style too. Since both teams are likely to push the pace right from the tip-off, this one has all the makings of a real shootout. We're going with over 173.5 points here. Sometimes a high point total comes from a lack of stakes, which is what we see in the Würzburg versus Chalon/Sion game. Würzburg's defense has been pretty leaky lately, and without a lot of pressure on this game, both teams will probably play a bit looser on defense. Because of that, we expect points, and we're picking the over 165.5. So we've seen where the points are going to be flying, but what about the opposite end of the spectrum? Which games are going to be tough defensive battles? And that leads us to our final category in today's breakdown, the low-scoring games. These are the duels where we expect defenses to absolutely dominate. Okay, let's jump into this with Gran Canaria versus Nürnberg. Gran Canaria has been struggling with offensive talent all season. So, how do they make up for it? They play at the second slowest pace in the entire competition and rely on their top-notch defense. Now add to that the fact that Nürnberg just lost their best player, which significantly weakens their attack. All the signs point to a gritty, low-scoring game. Our prediction is under 163.5 points. And our final analysis is Trieste versus Tenerife. The key here really comes down to one fact. Tenerife plays at the absolute slowest pace in the entire competition. That's their identity. They dictate a slow half-court game, and they take away any chance for transition offense. We fully expect them to do that here, so our pick is under 164.5 points. All right, that covers all of our individual analyses. Let's put everything together for a final overview. So, here are all of our picks in one place. For the spreads, Hapoel minus 5.5, Olympiacos minus 4.5, Unicaja minus 5.5, and Cedevita plus 5.5. For the high-scoring games, Partizan Dubai over 169.5, Başakşehir Cluj over 173.5, and Würzburg-Schalon over 165.5. And for the defensive duels, Gran Canaria Nymburk under 163.5 and Trieste Tenerife under 164.5. And one more time, a huge thank you to our sponsors, MyStake and Vadada. Remember, those special bonus links are waiting for you in the description below. And that's a wrap on our breakdown for today. Now, I want to hear from you. Looking at this list, which game do you think is the absolute lock of the day? Drop your most confident pick in the comments below. As always, if you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. We'll see you next time.